Ladies and gentlemen, what you are about to see is a videotape taken at the annual reunion of the Lake Region Pioneer Threshermen's Association at Dalton, Minnesota for the year of 1989. The sign shown here already has the dates for the 1990 show, but the videotape is of the activities on the grounds for the year 1989.
You gotta drive the big one. Go ahead.
1989 was the year of the Ford tractors, and you will now see approximately 50 Fords going through of all different styles and makes and years. Every year we feature a different line of tractors, and this year is the Ford. So. The Ford that you're just seeing go by now is the one that we are giving away at the end of the show this year. You'll be able to win it on a dollar chance, or you can have $1,000 cash if you wish. This is what we do every year to feature the tractors that we're featuring. You see the old town hall in the background, the log cabin, and here we have a few newer Fords. This is the beginning of the steam engines that you will see at the show every year. We have around 30 full-size steam engines operating every year at the show. Cases, Minneapolis Molines, Nicholson Shepherds, Ottman Taylors, Averys. Probably have one of the largest collections in the state of Minnesota. Not the largest, but one of the largest. Our show was started back in about 1953 with 2 steam engines by Ralph Melby, George Melby, and Kenneth Bratfold. And it has grown from 3 original engines to the 30 that we have now, plus 150, 200 gas tractors, a couple hundred stationary gas engines, and miscellaneous other things. Like the buildings that you see have been put up. We have several buildings been put up on the grounds. The old schoolhouse, town halls, printing shop, big wheelock engine, several other stationary engines. So the show is continuously growing every year. And right in the background behind the engine now you see an old house. It's one of the first houses that was in Dalton. And one of the founders, Ralph Melby, lived in that at one time. This is a Minneapolis Moline steam engine going by. You can see the town hall in the background. This is a Baker road roller, probably only one in the country. Now we're starting to get into the old gas tractors. You've just seen the 30 steam engines. We're starting out here with an old Hart Par. You'll see various makes of tractors, models, and the Hart Pars, the Olivers, the John Deeres, Minneapolis Molines, Internationals, and many other different kinds. We have many different sizes, some with the old steel and some have been converted to rubber. This is an old Avery that was just redone. It took 5 years to do and get it back to in shape to run. Here we have one of the first four-wheel drive Minneapolis Moline tractors made, put together, 2Gs, by the Dutson Rods at Wymer, North Dakota. And this is what Minneapolis Moline did follow, some of the pattern of that, to make the original four-wheel drives. Here we have a Graham Bradley. This is one of the largest oil pulls. We have a great big collection of oil pulls. We have just about every one that was ever made, from the large down to the small. Larry Martinson operating this one. Larry has restored many of these large tractors from top to bottom and got them in good running condition. This is a real early Minneapolis tractor before the Minneapolis Moline were combined to put together. We have quite a few Minneapolis Moline tractors in this show. You've seen a few of them gone by here now, and here comes some more of them. We always have 15 or 20 of these around that are all pretty well painted up and look good. We featured them a few years back, and there's a lot of them in the country. This old Frick is a real rare tractor. Friends of ours from the Roll Log show bring this in every year, and they bring it here and they show it at Roll Log, and then they bring it to our show, and then they also take it to Albany. The old 2844 Oliver Hart bar going by is yours truly. This tractor that I bought locally at Underwood, Minnesota. This new Caterpillar Challenger is just a comparison of some of the other Caterpillars that we have on the grounds. We thought we would show you the difference in them. We have a few of these real nice restored cockshots, the 20 and the 30 series and the 40. In the 1990 show, we will be featuring these tractors, so come in 1990 and see a lot of them. This Wallace is fairly new to our show. We just restored. This is the first year there. They have two of them that they brought in. They're very nice old tractors. They're very rare. There isn't many of them around the country. The John Deere line is a great line. We featured them last year in the 1988 show. In 87 show we featured the John Deere line, and ever since that it has continued to grow. We probably have gone from when we first started having John Deeres around 10-15 tractors, and now we're probably up to the 60 of them every year. And most of them are all restored and in very nice condition. In 88 we featured Oliver. This is an old 1915 or 16 fire engine that came in from Iowa, owned by the Martinson family. In the 1990 show, we will be featuring 5-6 more old fire engines for some more of you fire enthusiasts. Here's a good view of the Wheelock engine. That flywheel is 25 feet in diameter. Each spoke weighs 11,000 pounds. The bolts that hold it together weigh about 60 pounds. That was hauled here from Illinois. Runs very nice. We have some friends from Illinois, and our operator from Minneapolis comes down and runs the boilers for us every year. It's quite an attraction. The building was built by all donations from local members and surrounding people, businesses, so forth. The Lake Region Pioneer Threshing Association consists of 12 directors who oversee most of the operation of the show. The 12 directors elect their president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer out of that board, along with about 35-40 committees and hundreds of people that work, about 300 people that work with it to put on the show. Crankshaft for this Wheelock engine that you're watching weighed 26 ton with everything stripped off of it, so it is quite heavy. Here you see the boilers that operate it. We have one oil-fired boiler that takes care of the steam for it. The stacks that you've seen in the background, we put up 4 to 8 of them every year for threshing, and then we stack thrash, pull in with the wing feeders, thrash all 3 days. We thrash with big engines, smaller thrash machines, gas tractors. Here we're seeing the steam engines parked off before their parade. We have a lot of young engineers. They're all licensed operators by the state of Minnesota. All boilers are state inspected every year. And if you ever had a show, stop by and talk to any of the engineers. They'll be very happy to explain the operation of the engines or anything that you would like to know about the show.
We're going to try that next one, that other end. This block is old. I remember that, I know.
Here you can see where they've done some plowing with horses. We added horses to the show a few years back, and we have varies from year to year. We have some years we have quite a few, and most of the time around 6 to 8, 10 teams around there. Here we got a 6-horse hitch plowing. It's awful hard for the horses here to plow because the ground is very hard, very heavy plowing. You can see the beginning of a horse barn in the background. We hope this grows and we add more every year.
Please go to the car.
Here you see them stack thrashing now. We always put 2 people on a stack pitching into each wing, so you have 4 people pitching into the thresher machine at one time. You have your thresher machine operator, your steam engine operator, and your grain hauler, so it takes quite a crew back when they used to do it this way. The operator you see standing here running this engine is Alfred Heddy from Kansas. Al always says that you don't have to get dirty running steam engines, and if you'll watch every time you see Al, he has a white shirt on, and it does not get dirty during the day. He's a very careful operator. Here you see one of the youngsters that'll be an operator someday. His dad is one of the steam engine owners on the grounds. The wagon you see here has the spring-loaded seat, so you can sit there and ride in comfort. When they hauled it back into the farmyards, they brought the team of horses in, hooked onto it. Every time you see that dump grain, you get a half a bushel. It scale up on the separator up on top there that you're looking at right now, and it registers how many bushels you thrash each day. How many, keep track how much you put on each load. Here you see the lineup of all the oil pull tractors. Some Minneapolis Moline, Naughton, Taylors, Twin Cities, Caterpillars, all in the line. Here's two Fairbanks Morse engine. The one single cylinder is a 75 horse. The twins are 150 horse. One comes from the granite factory and the other one came from Millerville flour mills. Here you're inside of the big gas engine building where we have some big stationary gas engines that are mounted right in the building. We have approximately from the 150 on down to the horse and a half or one horse, probably 200-300 of them running at the show every year. wagon you see going here now, we have a couple of them on the grounds hauling you to and from the parking lots and all over the grounds. Here you see the old woodworking shop, which will be replaced by a new one, and by 1990 show you should see a new one. All this stuff will have its own place then and be on display at a much better in operating condition, so you can see it all work. This right now is temporarily located in the blacksmith shop. Here we have the sauging thrash machine, which was built and designed here by Dalton, by Mr. Sauging. This is a miniature one. They're our self-propelled thrash machine. They have their own engine, and when you got through, you drove it to the next farm. You just had one unit, but there was probably 8, 9 of them ever built. It never quite made the grade. This is the only one, miniature one, that we know of, and there is none in existence, so these were all built off of old blueprints.
The pony rides have moved over.
Old cast iron toolbox seat covers off of toolboxes on old machinery. Here now you're going to see some of the gas engines, the different ways they were used, water pumping and whatever use you had on the farm for them. We have several old cars on the grounds, as you see here, the Model T and the Model A. There's an old 24 Chevrolet, 53 Chevrolet, 65 Ford Mustang coming up here, 49 Packard, 41 LaSalle, 4Runner, a Cadillac. There's the old Model T again. In this building you're looking at the old store buildings, the old storefronts. There's the old drugstore, the old rural kitchen. We have a barber shop and the old country store back here in the corner, kind of like it was way back when. The ladies have many activities going on throughout the whole show in different buildings. They have arts and crafts available, and homemade ice cream, butter, and so forth being turned during the show every day, so kids can come and see how that's done. There's the old kitchen that you used to bake bread on and do all the cooking. The old drugstore again. Here's the old ladies' clothing store, hats and old style clothing.
Yes, sir. Here we are.
Here we have a bunch of old dolls that we display every year. They come from Freeport, Illinois, displayed by Mrs. Willie Lamb. Here's a quilts that the ladies put together every year. Here the ladies have crafts for sale, old jewelry and so forth.
We all here to take care of it. All right, you look around and see what you want.
Here Glenn Melby will show you how to start an old Model T truck. You have to be very careful on these because they like to kick. The auxiliaries lunch stand here on the corner. We have 2 church groups that serve full meals every day, breakfast and dinner and supper. Very good meals too. This is our toy display room where we have all kinds of toys, and this year we have the little trains in here. We have 3 of them running here, and all around the outside of this building is lots of toy tractors, displays, and for sale, trade, many collectors. Like we said earlier, this was the year of the Ford, and this is where their display was. They had some Ford flags up there. This is the old Dalton Depot that was moved in from downtown, bought from the Great Northern Railroad, and moved on the grounds. We have a 24 gauge small train that runs around a 3/4 mile track here on the grounds. Here we have a young lad trying to get the little car to go. This little locomotive came from Germany. It was used during World War I to haul ammunition. It does have some bullet holes in the cab. It was brought over here by ship a few years back. Now you're getting a better look at the Ford tractors that was on display during this 1989 show. Here we have the wood pile, which takes 30-40 cords of wood every year just to run the steam engines. We try to have some ahead all the time, keep it dried out so it's ready for the next year's show. Here you can see the base of the stiff-legged crane. It's a 60-ton crane that was hauled in from Minneapolis. It has about a 60-foot boom on it. It's run by steam. We use it for lifting logs around and setting them over on the sawmill so they can be sawed. The Association owns its own sawmill. It was brought about 2 years ago and brought in here and all rebuilt and put in here by Kenny Osnes and a bunch of the members of the club, and built the roof over the top of it. And we use all the lumber we saw now we're going to use to build more buildings and repair what we have and so forth. This is one of the original steam engines that was on the first show that they had. It was owned by George Belby, and now owned by his son and grandson, Glenn Belby and Mike. If you've never been to our show, we feel we have one of the best shows in the country, if not the best. We like to blow our own horn once in a while, but we have something going on for all ages, from the bottom right to as old as great-grandfathers, to come and see things going on. There's always something, and you'll have to spend the day to see it all. Added to the show about 4 or 5 years ago was the flea market. We started out with about 30 units, and now we're at about 60, 65 units every year, and that's probably about how many you'll always see there. It's about all the room we have for them. They have lots of stuff for sale. Also, if you want to come and spend the weekend, have a camper, there is camping on the grounds, or there is campgrounds nearby. So there's plenty of places to stay. Like I said, there's something for the young and the old. There's always something to see.
What you're seeing here is the old print shop. Back in the corner was the linotype, now the paper cutter. Here's a hand-fed letterpress.
Here's the old schoolhouse that the ladies completely redid the floors and really cleaned it up and fixed it all up. Took a lot of varnish off the walls and redid it, the old paint. It looks very nice inside. They spent many hours on the inside and out. But this is the way it was back in the earlier days. Here's the old town hall that was moved in from the Ashby area. We got the voting booths in the back. A little different than when you go voting today. But this is the way they used to do it, and held the town hall meetings here. The town boards would meet here. Now you're going to see some of the campers that are on the grounds that people come and stay here for the weekend, and also a lot of the operators bring their units and stay here. We have people that are here a week before and they stay 4 or 5 days after the show before they continue on to the next one. And like I say, we have about 100 or so that stay here every year during the show. This is the inside of the old house that I told you about earlier that was moved in, and the founder, Ralph Melby, lived here when he was first lived in Dalton many years ago. And the ladies are in the process of completely restoring this, so you'll have to come back to a later show and see the finished product. The log house came just a mile north of Dalton from Matilda Sagging. Her great-grandfather lived here and homesteaded on the place, and she donated it to us, and it was moved here to the grounds and restored. It was almost just the way it is. It was fixed up a little bit. The fireplace was put back on it, and it's quite an addition to the show. This is another old schoolhouse that came in from just a few miles out of Dalton. It's from District 20. It was brought in here and it's in its original condition. We use it for arts and crafts and other displays.
As some of the operators get ready to load up and go home, this is about the end of the show that we can give you today. And we'd just like to say that while this was just one episode in the life of the Lake Region Pioneer Threshermen, we were appreciative of the fact that you had the time to watch it, and we want you to know that each year this show will be upgraded with new machinery, new tractors, new operators, and it will be better and bigger than ever each year to come. Thank you again for watching this presentation.